Hey, good morning, everybody. All right, we are past the report. Really friendly numbers for soybeans. Really friendly numbers for wheat. Obviously, looks like the smallest wheat crop I think I saw in 55 years. So huge declines in expectations for new crop stocks there. Almost, I think it was over 150 million bushels from the previous report. Soybeans were knocked down like 40 or 50 million bushels from the previous report. So, really friendly stuff there. I was honestly surprised that soybeans weren't up more, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. But numbers for corn were not friendly. Big gains in Argentina. Uh, you know, Smaller gains here, but still up around just below that 2 billion bushel mark. It still just comes down to it's very early for them to uh, believe some of these numbers as far as yield and things like that. And it's just super supportive that the wheat's flying up like it is. So it will be very interesting to see what corn does as it gets back to this high, and we'll take a look at that now. So looking at December corn, currently up 1 1/4, 503 1/4. So supportive action overnight, closed near the highs yesterday. Big volume day, which was the same on everything, and some of that's just attributed to a lot more people paying attention because it's a report day, but still a lot of action there. So resistance is going to be the swing high from last week, so 505 3/4. The high so far has been 504 1/2 in the overnight, so haven't quite gotten there, but trying to push up there, and seems inevitable that that will happen now, that we will get up there and try to take that level out. Support will be the 5 day at 499 1/4. Um, Tough to say anything long term support wise, just because you really have to come down below the swing low before you can get super bearish. There's not a lot else here, I guess. Maybe a close below the 10 day because we just haven't really been able to accomplish that. But again, I would be worried though with any negative action here, especially if you get up, take out this top, break through, and then close negative. Those are the things you've got to watch for. If we don't quite get there, that's a little different. But if you get there today, take this top out, and then have a negative day or a negative reversal, you're going to need to be concerned that that might be it for a little bit. Doesn't mean for the whole time. It's not, we're late. I mean, we're not late, but we're late enough for this to be a potential high. But this market does just act strong. I mean, that was negative information yesterday, and we had positive action coming out of it. So can't ignore that. Good separation here, suggesting potential for lingering upside momentum next 1 to 3 days. Again, just suggesting, doesn't mean it has to happen. But overall, again, you can't ignore the price action, but you do have to watch if we take that high out and we close poorly. That is not a good sign in the short term. Soybeans, very positive information. Good separation down here still. Decent follow through in the overnight. We haven't been able to take out yesterday's high yet, so that will be resistance at 1210. They are currently up 3 1/4 and at 1208 1/4. And like I said, high yesterday 1210 will be resistance. Support is the 5 day here at 1197 3/4. You can see how it's just been riding this thing up. So that's really good support right now. And again, you'd have to wait a long time to really find that low here of 1164 3/4 before you'd be certain of a trend change in the short term. But again, we're showing some divergence here. Any negative day you should be concerned about, even though those numbers are friendly. We have still a big meeting at the end of this week with China, so that's all going to be watched and paid attention to, and that might have part of the reason why we didn't go up more yesterday with what was pretty friendly information, is because they're just concerned about what may or may not come out of that meeting. So you will have to watch for any negative action here as we're up near overbought territory and showing divergence as we made a new high here but have not made a new high here. So can't be negative about it right now, but if you get a negative day, you better be ready to pay attention. Big volume day there too. All right, moving into KC wheat, just jumping here on supply concerns. We had the condition report, then we had this huge drop in expectations. This looks strong, obviously, but we are overbought now. We are showing divergence. We do have separation, so you should expect a little bit more. This is very aggressive, and it will be very aggressive when it comes down. So, this is one of those where you've got to be pretty careful with any negativity. This is not the corn market. There's wheat all over the world. Demand is not good for wheat. So, even though we are having a terrible time here, it may not matter if they decide that they're done with this little move. So, any negativity you better respect with the way these things look here and the way this move looks here. So, as aggressive as it is up, it can be that aggressive down. So, I would just be a little bit careful with how high we really think this can go in the short term if there aren't some other problems in other places as we move forward. All right, overall, got to be friendly. Got to be friendly but careful because everything's overbought. Got to watch for any reversals from a negative standpoint, especially after we've taken out high, and especially if we're showing divergence like we are with soybeans and wheat. All right, everybody have a great day.